contours, so keep an eye on that as well. The lost art of trolling, and I love trolling. A lot of people are anxious, they want to run a gun, I do it too, burn all kinds of gas. Thankfully gas is cheap these days and gets a lot of us running a gun. And the advantage of a running gun, you get on fish faster and you catch fish. The disadvantage of running gun is you miss a lot of good opportunities that you would have never guessed might be out there waiting for you. When you go on the troll and put a full spread of baits out there, this is when your odds go up of getting wahoo, a blue marlin, a tuna. You get your shots at the other game fish that are coming by our waters here. What that you don't get when you're running gun. And running gunning is exclusively almost dolphin or wahoo when you're dropping down jigs on floating debris. But trolling opens the game to just about all different species of fish. And it still produces. Case in point, I don't know if anyone saw this show that we did this episode early on in January. It'll re-air again. We're down in Islamorada, Shannon Metalis and I were running gunning, doing really well with dolphin. And we decided, we found this one weed line, just a lot of scattered weeds. Nothing really worth sitting there trying to run a gun on because there's one consistent line of broken weeds, but there was bait under it. So we had been running gunning at that point, so I said, this looks really good. We're not seeing anything floating. I said, we're deep enough, let's put a spread of ballyhoo out on this. So we put out a typical spread that I fish, and that is, I used to say we would rig them on 80-pound fluorocarbon leader, and if you're hoping that maybe a blue or a white comes up, that's still good. But with dolphin fishing, like everything else, with the pressure these fish get, it's scaling down. Like live bait sailfish. Remember the days used to be 80-pound fluorocarbon, then it's 50, now they're using 40, and sometimes dropping to 30 to get the bites. The dolphin, pretty much the same way when you get hammered. So for dolphin trolling baits, 50-pound fluorocarbon leader, ballyhoo that could be for general dolphin fishing, medium-sized ballyhoo with a couple larges mixed in. I really like to fish pretty much naked ballyhoo without skirts. The times that I will skirt them, again, match up the flying fish. I'll put blue skirts in front of them, and we'll put those out. And one little tip is when you buy your ballyhoo, before you put them out, and it's a big tip too, is when you can't, if you don't have access to fresh ballyhoo, you go the next best route as the fresh frozen ballyhoo, like Bait Masters, which is a quality company. When you go to buy frozen bait, wipe the mist or the frost off that package, look at the ballyhoo's eyes. If it's a dark jet black pupil, that tells you that that ballyhoo was brined properly. When you take ballyhoo or to catch them, or even when you get them fresh, it should be your job to brine them in like a briny solution. Kosher salt with ice water, let them soak in there. What a brine does, it absorbs the moisture, it takes the moisture out of the bait. And by taking the moisture out, it toughens the bait up so it withstand the rigors of trolling a lot more than, say, a fresh one that wasn't brined up. So when you see a dark eye in a ballyhoo with no crystallization in there, that's the mark of a batch of baits that were perfectly brined, because the crystallization in the eye will show you there's still moisture in there, and that's what it is that you're seeing. So if you see a package with crystallization or look like it has cataracts, put those away because they weren't brined properly. There's a lot of moisture left in those baits. Those are the ones that wash out a lot faster than the ones that I just told you about. The other part of it, when you're making a swimming ballyhoo or skipping ballyhoo, is to work the ballyhoo. In other words, just don't get them and rig them and send them out. Get a bucket of water, brine water, and where that lateral line of the ballyhoo goes straight from the head to the tail, you get your thumb and index finger around the back and just very softly start squeezing it. Don't do it too hard because you're going to break the ballyhoo's skin. Very softly, and you're going to crush the ballyhoo's backbone. And as you crush the backbone, you work it all the way to the tail. Then you start doing it from the throat down the stomach side, what we call milking the ballyhoo. Get all the excrements out by squeezing all the way down the stomach cavity so everything is washed out through the anal vent. Then you slowly limber the ballyhoo back and forth. If you take a ballyhoo that you've just done that to, and take one out of that package that's already defrosted, and you take the one that you didn't do anything to, and you shake it, it's like this. It's going to have that action. It's just like a stiff pencil. You take the one that you just worked over, you hold it by its head, and you wiggle it, and it sits there and it looks just like a freshwater bass worm. And that makes a big difference whether it's a skipping ballyhoo, and especially a swimming ballyhoo. When that ballyhoo is pulsating back there just under the water, it makes a huge difference in the troll. So that's pretty much our setup of the troll. We'll set the baits out. And going back to the storyline, probably about 15 minutes into this, we get blasted. 3 lines come off, 3 big bulls come in there. One of them jumped off immediately. There's a 4th one in there that I tried to get a pitch bait to, fell short. That thing just kept trucking to I don't know where. And we ended up with 2 beautiful bull dolphins on the troll, which turned out to be the biggest fish of this entire trip. We got quality dolphin on this to the run and gun, but yet in the end, the trolling was the one that produced. So anyone who likes to troll out there, you know, keep it up and don't worry about the running gunners. They're going to work an area. They're going to keep on going. You work your contour lines. You work your weed lines. And if you make a run out in the morning and say you set a limit 20 miles or so, and you find a good weed line, you work it. And if you see no weed line, it's one of those days where you can't find any kind of debris, come back into that 600-foot mark, that 650, 700, the continental shelf. Remember that. Comes up 600 feet of water. Work structure, 650 feet, get on the edge of the continental shelf, come in around 450 or so, and then zigzag back on out to that 650, back into 450. So this way at least you're working bottom structure, and especially if you look at the current charts, and that current, the true edge of the stream is actually coming up and abutting that shelf. You could get a lot of decent fish in the troll when you don't even see anything up on the top. And again, when you're running and gunning to pockets of flying fish, or if you see flying fish in an area, not a bad place to start trolling either because you've got the boost supply there. Next one, Priscilla. Just some more trolling shots. In general, when you do get hooked up, just keep the boat going straight at the same exact speed. Don't sit there and think you're John Force, a drag racer, and when the fish hits, you got to floor the boat to help set the hook and have everybody rolling in the back of the cockpit. And the other worst thing to do is just all of a sudden put it in neutral. Some people get excited, they see a big bull crash, takes a jump, they go right in neutral. You did that? Catch a fish? Right. There's my eyewitness, and he wasn't even paid to say that. If you put the boat right in the neutral, you do 2 things. You reduce the chances of successfully hooking the fish. When you're trolling forward, monofilament has stretching. By keeping the boat moving forward to a hook fish and let that fish run, you're getting the stretch out of the monofilament, you're burying that hook a lot better. Then, if there's a 2nd or 3rd fish, the other baits are still in play, they're going to come up and pounce on that. That's how you get your triples and all that. Keep the boat moving 30. Well, next, Priscilla. We did that about the eyes of the valley. You can see exactly what I'm talking about here. That's exactly what you want to see when you see valley that we're definitely brought it properly. And again, kudos to bait masters of South Florida. When they pack up the valley, they're about the best that you're going to find in the frozen variety. Next. Again, another chub cake dolphin saved by the radar. And again, this was next. And there they are, the 2 big bulls caught on the troll. So any trolling fans out there, that's the deal there. So what I'm happy about is we got through that without any weird pictures on Michael's behalf. But I will open it up. If anybody has any particular questions, I'll take a few questions before I turn the meeting over here. Yes. Diving plugs? No, I would use blackfins and the keys. The CD-15, the countdown 15. I see people trolling for the blackfins and are trying these little feathers and all. Anyone who goes to the keys and hit the Alabrada Marathon humps, and you don't have the live bait to do this, get those CD-15s, rig with 30-pound fluorocarbon, just put 2 behind the boat, stagger them, put them far back, and troll right at 10 knots. You know, don't troll them slow, and troll around that hump, because blackfins bust them. It's a decent sized ones too. But the plugs, my use more for the blackfins or the CD-18s for wahoo or yellowfins if you're going to try to troll something up in the channel. Other question? Yes. Deep baits. The question was, do I like leads or planers? And here's something else. You talked about people getting away from trolling. I mean, like the downrig is all, but it just disappeared. And I think because they're a pain in the neck to do, but when you start getting July and August, and again, we talked about the water surface temperature heating up and the bait going down. Downriggers are invaluable there because you can sit and drop those down 80, 90, 100 feet and have at least one bait working. So I'd say downriggers, or the other one is Sea Striker makes an HS8, which stands for High Speed 8 planer. And you can high speed pull those to 15 knots and have the bait independent of planer. So if the fish hits, off the cleat. And that's very good. And that will take the bait down maybe 5-6 feet, but it's subsurface. It can work, but out there for dolphin, it's hard to be downriver. That would be more in line for like the wahoo and stuff. Not that dolphin would need it, but when the heat comes up, you work deep. Also, I mentioned the eastern edge of the Gulf Stream. On those bad, warm, hot days like August and everything, where things are really tough, and it's hard to find fish on this side, don't break any rules, but find out where that eastern edge is on the other side and work that current edge, which you can find the true edge, and where that comes into that deeper structure, you can catch a lot of fish on the other side. They're not pressured nearly as much as the fish have been here. And again, it's tough to get those hot water fish, but they're still around, and that's where most of your action is going to come before 9:30 or 10 in the morning. So don't negate, again, the eastern side, providing you're not over Muhammad territory. You don't want to be over there and not legally clear, but just sort of watch the stream. And that's the other thing that brings me back to the forecast analysis that Rockers makes, is you sit and you dial in exactly what the stream is and where it is and where those edges are in structure. So when you run out in the morning, you want to find weeds, you want to find boards and birds, but at least you have an idea in your head where these current edges are, what kind of depth they're intersecting, and you have a game plan. And as you work your game plan, you start looking for everything else, and you might get in that zone and find a pallet or something and catch fish before you actually get to where you want to go. But at least there's something there that you've got a plan, you're not running out there blindly. Yes? That's always been a very sketchy issue. I don't know whether it's like our side, if it's 8 miles off and you're in international waters. And so use your better judgment. I'll leave you on that. Yes.
Ain't going there.
I troll mainly skipping ballyhoo. I think I'm right on the surface. Every now and then I'll rig a swimming bait. And I don't pull that terribly fast either. I'm pulling maybe 7 knots or so. Just get the ballyhoo on the top, breaking the water as it's slapping along. That's a good speed for that, and works pretty decent on the troll. Anyone else? Yes.
How do you like to rig your ballyhoo?
We talked ballyhoo, 50-pound fluorocarbon leader. I used a pin rig on that one too. And if normally I'll try to keep the 50-pound mon or fluoro tagline stiff enough. I'll take that little rigging needle, go under the ballyhoo's lower jaw up the upper, bore a little hole, because if you try to do it with the 50 fluoro, it noodles over. Whereas the 80 and 100 was stiff enough to go right through. So bore a little hole, put the